Doomfist is a tank now, guys. Let's talk about it as I go through my gameplay here. So, Doomfist has same punch ability, but instead of the E ability and the left shift having the dive forward with increasing damage, and then the shift uppercut, we now have just an ability that lets you jump in the air in any direction, and then you slam on enemies. So, it's a little bit interesting. The slam is bigger, it hits a really big shockwave essentially, so that is a very interesting little effect here. But none of it does a lot of damage except for hitting your primary fire, so that's really important. That's where most of your damage is coming from. So you can see I hit a moderately charged punch into the wall and only did like 50 damage. So you can cancel it in the air, which is really cool. And something I didn't mention is that when you press your E ability, you now have a shield that does reduction in the damage. I believe it's like a 70% or 50% damage reduction. And it charges up your punch. Instead of your full punch doing like 75 damage, it does 110. So 50% damage left. You want to play this character like a lot like Winston, to be completely honest, like a frag version of Winston. A fragger version of Winston. So you want to be looking for enemies who are in the back line, and you want to engage on them and you want to kill them. So that is what I am looking to do here. Another option is just playing like a main contesting space tank, which is a lot what Winston does actually. Especially in certain metas, you don't actually dive to the backline very much. You just play to like cleave the main. And this character does cleave a little bit, but yeah. So yeah, they made the punch a lot faster too. It's on a 3-second cooldown, and when you charge it up, it gets increased damage, and I believe it charges up faster, and the punch is stuns for longer. I believe it's up right now, but as you can see, my fist on the right side is like showing a little static electricity on it. Well, not static electricity, but whatever. A little blue electricity here, and that means I have the thing still waiting. So you can like hold on to them, which is really, really cool. So. See the slam ability there, and then just wait and punch him out. So like I said, I'm always gonna be looking to go for the back line. Not always, but usually is usually what I'm trying to do. Put some AoE damage in the enemies. Don't accidentally get stuck on the high ground with your ultimate. They made the ult like a lot faster, but it does less damage now. You can still one-shot 200 HP heroes if you hit in the middle of the circle, but yeah. My whole team dies, and I come back to get some ult charge and contest a point, and we end up dying because of that. You still get shields for hitting abilities on people, so it's a lot quicker. Yeah. Or sorry, it's not a lot quicker. It just has the same capability, but it's an extra tanking ability, which is useful. Now it's really more of a tanking ability. But yeah. You're going to see some more of this engagement here. And I'm going to go from angles that they aren't going to really expect me. I go off the roof. None of them look at me here. It doesn't do any extra damage, but they just didn't know I'm there. And then I punch the Orisa into our team. And then use my E ability to survive. That's a lot of what you're looking to do. It is actually more of like a mechanically demanding character than some other things, because you do need to really hit your primary fires. There's also a lot of really cool tech things you can do. But yeah, if you don't have good aim, you're not going to have a lot of fun in this character right away. You have to learn. Which, to be honest, is something I'm dealing with, because my aim is... I have not played these kind of games for a little while, so my aim's not going too amazing right now. Orisa is an unkillable demon, so you don't even bother trying to kill them, to be completely honest. Yeah, and you can always go in the backline as a Doomfist. Just because, as long as you can go get healed, you have so much mobility that nothing can really kill you. That's what I'm doing here. Unfortunately, my team ends up feeding after that one popped off and healed me a lot. But yeah, when your team dies, it's just time to get out. Fine, like contest them a little bit, but it's just time to go. And there you can see, I'll show it again. The range on the shockwave that you land on is really, really long. Like I hit him all the way from here, and I believe it does about 50 damage. So yeah. You really want to just hit a target and then blow them up really nice and quick with some primary fires, some punches if you can fit them in, and then a punch in particular, essentially. You just don't want to be like letting them start getting healed too much, because if you do, it's going to be really hard to kill anything. I don't really use the E ability all the time. It's really good, in my opinion, to have on a character like this. You just have to be aware that there's times where you don't need to use it and times where you do need to use it. playing in like the higher elos where I was, a lot of people who played Orisa were pretty bad. Even though they're like 4,500 players, they just weren't very good at Orisa because they'd always use their fortify too early. And it's the same thing with Doomfist. There's times to use it and there's times not to. You do get a damage buff from using it on the punch, so you can use it for that purpose, but it's honestly better to use it when you know you're going to be taking damage. So yeah. Like here, I know I'm taking damage, and unfortunately, they're just getting out-sustained, because as much as people think supports are really bad, the sustain in this game is still really, really high. And since my character doesn't really have a lot of burst damage, unless you hit your cooldowns well and effectively, and your primary fires effectively, you don't really end up getting insanely good value out of the situation. So, waiting for my team, just chilling, getting poked out by Genji, not very nice. But again, I'm always looking to go in their back line. Doomfist is really tanky right now, so I don't even really feel like I need to be like particularly careful when I do it. You just don't want to get stunned. Is really what it is. Something is out of position, you dive it, easy. And punches on such a low cooldown, you can use it really consistently. And I just get murdered by Sojourn here. Pain. I'm not sure what the max damage it can do is, but I feel like it's probably like 250 or something like that. So, coming back, the fight's devolving here. I know I want that Baptiste, so that's what I'm going for. Had to hit 2 primary fires there. That's the kind of thing I'm saying. I hit 2 cooldowns on him. I hit my slam and my punch on him, and he only took like 100 damage from that. So you have to be making sure you're doing the damage with the other stuff. If you're feeling really ambitious, you do this kind of stuff. You run to the spawn, get the kill on their Sojourn, ult their Baptiste, and then maybe you decide to leave. Sometimes you gotta do that kind of stuff for them, you know. In this sort of a situation, when it's in a 2 CP-esque situation where the spawn is really close, if you trade your life for anything, you're doing good. Old Doomfist playstyle is literally just go and punch something and end like non-stop, and you would be doing completely fine. You can still do that if you're like mechanically good enough to get the kills, but even if you die off for it, it's still really, really good. That's because of how much further they have to go, and like every time you do that, it resets them. So something that's really useful here, in situations like this where you're looking to do more tank, like more quote-unquote tanking, which is getting them out of positions and doing stuff like that, which is a really useful part of Doomfist kit, that he can displace people, and just punch them out of, like, you don't always do a lot of damage, but sometimes you can just punch them out of areas that they want to be in. So you can do that. Also, you can do what I do right here, which is you engage into the back, hit them with your slam ability, and punch also hits multiple people now, which is really cool. And it punches really, really, really far. It's ridiculous. But then you punch them into the open. This Baptiste for sure should be dead, and the Genji should be dead also. They do end up eventually getting killed, but yeah. Yes, miss all my shots. Pain. Like I said, not quite yet my strong suit, but I'm probably getting it pretty easily. Eventually. Like I said, I guess they didn't actually die. I really thought they would, just because I punched them right in the open. That should be something our team should pounce on, but it is a quick play match. The beta is somewhat MMR seeded, so you are kind of playing with people around your skill level. Like I play with a lot of OWL players. But yeah. Neither of those are people I really want to go for, so I go for the Hanzo instead. And unfortunately, I'm getting forced onto the point here. Get my ult, pop it, but none of my team comes to support me. So I get slept, and then right as I die, that's that. So, I talked mostly in this video clip about how to play Doomfist from a assassin, basically, perspective, like a tanky assassin. But there's a lot of value to be had just from playing it like a space gainer. So instead of, like, let's just say the enemy is holding a high ground and you want to go contest them, like you would if you're playing Winston. Winston would dive onto them, drop his bubble, and then that would be that. And you would contest them with that, and you would try and poke them out with your damage. But on a character like Doomfist, that doesn't do that much damage, where something like Baptiste, Regenerative Burst will just completely deny like all of your AoE damage. You take the space, and then you punch them out of it. Your punch is on a 3-second cooldown. You can bully them out of the positions if you use your cooldowns correctly. So that's something I really like about Doomfist. I think at a high level, that'll be more of what you'd want to do with him. If you see the opportunity to go for things to kill them, do it. But if you see the opportunity to clear out high grounds, that's also really, really good. It's a lot like Winston, although Doomfist is stronger than Winston because he has shield gaining capabilities. Like in a pure tankiness perspective, although Winston is still looking pretty decent. But yeah, it's basically deciding like, do I want to try and take space? Do I want to tank something? Or do I want to go try and take space by attacking their backline and distracting them and potentially killing it? So that's what you got to be thinking about when you're playing Doomfist now. If you haven't seen my Overwatch 2 Winston video, make sure to check it out. And if you're interested in other games, then make sure to check out this Gundam Evolution hero shooter that is coming out in a few months. It's really cool and I made some guides for it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.